Right now at noon, damage in many parts of the 4 states after overnight severe storms roll through.
And we've got skies clearing out for a warm and sunny day after the night of severe weather. We'll have the latest on your forecast coming up.
Plus, authorities in Pittsburgh search for a suspect in a weekend shooting.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Severe weather and storms, including a radar-indicated tornado, hit parts of the 4 states last night and into the early morning, causing severe damage and power outages across the area. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. The city of Joplin held a storm response press conference this morning to address the damage and cleanup efforts. KOAM's Fernanda Silva joins us from Joplin. Fernanda, what can you tell us about the city's response to the storm's damage?
We are at 16 in Texas, and here we can see some of the storm damage. Right behind me, we can see a tree landed on a house, and I'm going to ask our chief photographer, Ty Parks, to show us around a little bit some of the damage in this area. We can see that some of the houses lost their roofs, and residents are working outside to address the consequences of last night's storms. According to officials from the city of Joplin, crews were out at full force last night, and they're still assessing the damage this morning. Let's break down some numbers here for you guys. Fire chief says crews went to 81 locations to assess damage last night. They said additional crews were called in. 7,200 locations in Joplin lost power during the peak of the storm. Over half has been stored. Area also lost 50 poles that will be replaced. No injuries, thankfully, were reported. Let's hear officials' advice to the population.
I would encourage all of those citizens in Joplin, especially those in the affected area, to remain calm. Help is on the way and assistance will be provided to you. There will be a lot of information.
Stay clear. I know you're going to want to get out and do things at your residence, but I would ask that you give way to liberty and to Spire so that they can get their jobs done. We can get things back up and running as quick as we can.
National Weather Service will be in Joplin today to survey the damage of the storm in Joplin. I'm Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
All right, thanks, Fernanda. Well, here's footage captured overnight from the city of Joplin as a radar-indicated tornado caused damage between 9th and 20th from Rangeline to Duquesne. As the storm hit, the Dunweg Fire Department, Reddings Mill Fire, Carl Junction Fire, and police were just a few of the agencies that responded to assist in Joplin for a number of hours. Here's a look at some of the storm damage on Rangeline Road in Joplin as the sun came up this morning. And as you can see, there's also significant damage in Duquesne, with trees taking down power lines and causing structural damage on homes. Remember to not approach any downed power lines. In the area surrounding Missouri Southern, also taking a hit with more trees and power lines down on Duquesne Road going toward 7th Street. And over in Crestline, there was also significant storm damage with trees down and on the southern end of Crestline near the flea market. To stay informed on the storms and the damage, visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Another area hit hard during last night's severe weather was Barnsdall, Oklahoma, as a tornado slammed into the city, the second to hit that community in just over a month. There's at least one confirmed death from the tornado that hit the Barnsdall area. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at today's forecast.
Yeah, we had those severe thunderstorms overnight across the area, leaving damage behind. We had some cloud cover this morning working into the area, but the good news is, of course, that out of this area, and we are starting to clear out, and we got a pretty pleasant day. That was our camera on the Cornell complex from this morning. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh from this morning. Again, still some wet roadways out there. We got plenty of rainfall, and we had some of that cloud cover build in, but again, all of that beginning to clear out. Yesterday started the day at 59, made it up to 79, so above our averages, but not significantly so. And that's been the trend. We've been at or slightly above our averages, except for Sunday. Boy, we only made it up to 60 out there. We're going to start to trend warmer over the next couple of days ahead of a cold front that's going to bring us more thunderstorm chances tomorrow, and it's going to start to bring us some cooler temperatures. But the rest of this evening looking pretty good out there. Our temperatures gradually falling into the low 60s as we go into the midnight hour, and then we'll eventually reach lows back into the mid to upper 50s with those clear skies out there. Again, we are tracking the possibility of some additional strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into our Wednesday. We're going to have the latest on that in the full forecast. That's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Authorities in Pittsburgh are searching for a suspect they say was involved in an early Sunday morning shooting. The Crawford County Sheriff's Office was notified after a man, 34-year-old Keith Mitchell of Pittsburgh, went to Ascension Via Christi Hospital with a gunshot wound around 2 a.m. Sunday. Deputies determined the shooting happened on South 20th Street by the Meadowbrook Mall. Mitchell is expected to survive. Now authorities are looking for 34-year-old Stephen Taylor Jr. of Pittsburgh. They say he was last seen driving a blue-gray 2015 Jeep Compass with Kansas tags number 269 SCR. If you have any information about his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the Sheriff's Office. The city of Joplin is bringing back its homebuyer assistance program. KOAM Samantha Walker explains what this program offers and what the city hopes it accomplishes.
The City of Joplin has announced the creation of the Joplin Home Buyer Assistance Program 2. The program was originally offered during the city's tornado recovery efforts. Now the city is bringing it back, using funds from the American Rescue Plan Act grant. The city says the purpose of the program is to improve opportunities for home ownership for low and moderate income families.
We always have a need in Joplin to provide more affordable housing. With the economy the way it is, with just the cost of living increases lately, anything that you can do to help get a family into a home that they own, that they can be proud of, and start building equity, it's just a great assistance for them.
Program funding can be used to provide financial assistance for a down payment and closing costs up to $40,000.
It's just a great benefit for any size family, low income, get you in a house you can own.
The president of the Ozark Gateway Association of Realtors says housing programs like this can help make home buying more affordable and also help real estate in the area.
It will help sales in the city of Joplin. You know, we don't have a lot of homes currently on the market, so maybe this will encourage sellers to list their homes. I do think this will, of course, encourage buyers to come out and put offers on these properties that we've had that maybe have set a little bit, that might qualify again for the program.
She says she's already had several families reach out about the application. Applicants are encouraged by the city to talk with their preferred home mortgage lender to see if they're a good fit for the program. Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The city of Joplin says the program will remain open as funding is available or until the application deadline closes in 2026. You can learn more about how to apply on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, Israeli tanks have seized control of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing on Egypt's border with Gaza. And later, we're making pork chops with a bacon onion marmalade in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. For the first time, Israeli tanks have seized control of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing on Egypt's border with Gaza. It comes after Israel's government rejected a ceasefire proposal that Hamas had accepted. Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington.
Israeli tanks entered eastern Rafah Tuesday, rolling over a sign reading, "I love Gaza," 7 months to the day since Hamas invaded southern Israel. Israel calling it a limited operation against Hamas targets there, not a full-scale offensive. Israel also carried out strikes across Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians have fled since the start of the war. The military action and closure of the Rafah and Kerem Shalom crossings will choke off desperately needed humanitarian aid, warns UN agencies.
This morning is one of the darkest in this 7-month-long nightmare.
It comes after Israel rejected a ceasefire plan that Hamas says it agreed to. CBS News obtained a copy of the proposal, which includes a 3-phase de-escalation period aimed at a permanent ceasefire and hostage release deal. Israeli leaders have vowed to continue their military campaign until Hamas is destroyed, rejecting a complete withdrawal. Brian Katulis of the Middle East Institute describes the difficulties of reaching a deal.
the central conundrum here is that you basically have two forces that are committed to each other's destructions, and it's hard to find the pathway to get to an even short-term deal like we saw in November.
Still, the Israeli government says it will continue ceasefire negotiations. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Was there one kitchen tool you remember your mom using more than any other when you were a kid? For me, it was the wooden spoon. And it wasn't just for stirring onions.
And after some cloud cover late in the morning, skies clearing, but more thunderstorms on the way. We'll have the latest on your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So after our night of severe weather across the area, our Tuesday considerably calmer. We did have some clouds move in by mid-morning, but those, of course, rolling on out of here, and we have clearing skies out there and a pretty decent Tuesday for us across the area. Skywatch Storm Tracker from earlier this morning, we had some of those clouds showing where those storms rolled off quickly to the east. This is what they left behind just in our area. A number of wind damage reports. That's those orange circles. And of course, this concentration here in Jasper County and in parts of Newton County. Well, right in this zone is where we had that radar confirmed tornado. We've got some video of what may have been that tornado in between Joplin and Carthage. A number of damage reports out there. So National Weather Service survey teams undoubtedly be assessing that damage. They'll be assessing the video, photos, anything that folks had to determine how much of this may have been straight line winds, because that was a major issue, and how much of this damage could have been from a potential tornado. And of course, wind damage reports across the area, and then we had the tornado reports, Barnesville and into Bartlesville. Unfortunately, in the Barnesville area, there was at least one fatality, a number of injuries out there from that storm. And then even in Chautauqua, we had some injuries reported after a tree fell on a house in the Chautauqua area. So a lot of wind damage, very intense line of storms that rolled through here. And again, thankfully, despite some clouds that rolled in this morning, we began to see that clearing sky out there. Our camera, Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh. Even this morning, still some wet roadways out there. And this isn't even from any flooding concern. We just got so much rain that it took a while for things to dry out. Unfortunately, as we head into our Wednesday, we do have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to potentially severe thunderstorms across the area associated with a cold front. Now, again, for the rest of today, we're looking pretty good. We're going to have those skies clear out, and we're looking at temperatures into the mid-upper 70s, pushing relatively close to 80 degrees. And the only issue we're going to have to deal with is going to be those southwest winds gusting to 25 miles an hour. And of course, even though we haven't had major damage out there, we still have damage, we still have debris, and some of those winds could blow that around. So if you're working on some recovery or cleanup out there, just keep that in mind with those gusty winds. Clear skies continue into tonight, and then as we head into tomorrow, clouds begin to increase. And then there's still some disagreement on thunderstorm initiation tomorrow. But as this cold front pushes in, we're expecting scattered showers and thunderstorms, believe maybe even as early as 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And as they develop, some of those could be strong to severe, even that early in the morning. And those will kind of hang out with us for a while into the early afternoon hours. We may see a pause, and then as the front itself approaches the area, it doesn't have a major impact on our daytime temperatures, but could trigger additional thunderstorm development along and south of I-44 by tomorrow evening. And some of that could be strong to severe as well. And it'll start to roll out of here by late evening. And then we're going to be a little cooler overnight, could even see some upper 40s. So again, near 80 today, and sunny skies, clear tonight, mid-upper 50s out there. And as we head into tomorrow, those thunderstorm chances across the area, again, some could be strong, possibly severe. Winds still gusting upwards of 25, and temperatures into the upper 70s out there. Then again, once that front passes through, we'll fall back upper 40s, low 50s. But this front also gives us a good break from severe weather out there and gives us an opportunity to dry out. Clearing skies heading into the weekend. Temperatures a little cooler than average, and then they'll warm back up again. And next week, we're back slightly above average, upper 70s, low 80s, with additional thunderstorm chances next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making pork chops with bacon onion marmalade in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is showing us how to make pork chops with bacon onion marmalade in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You know, There were 2 utensils in the kitchen when I was a kid that I'll never forget. The first was the wooden spoon. If my brother and I didn't behave, out it came. Unfortunately, I remember it all too well. The other item was my mom's heavy-duty cast iron skillet. She would cook just about everything in it, including these pork chops. She would start by sauteing a large onion that she cut really thin in some butter. Once that was tender, she added some balsamic vinegar, brown sugar, and a bit of salt. After it thickened up, she stirred in some crumbled bacon. While all those flavors were coming together, in another skillet, she would saute some thick-cut pork chops, I mean really thick, that she would first dip into some milk and then into some seasoned flour. I think the reason they cooked so evenly was because the cast iron pan really held the heat. After the chops were cooked through, she would spoon the onion bacon marmalade over them, and dinner was ready. Talk about hearty and packed with flavor. To get this easy favorite, simply check out our website and search for pork chops with bacon onion marmalade. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an easy weeknight kind of way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go on over to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Again, clear and warm today, breezy southwest winds gusting to 25, near 80, upper 70s tomorrow, then scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, some of which could be strong to severe. And that cold front pushes through upper 40s to low 50s tomorrow night, and then we clear out heading into the weekend, a break from the storms and an opportunity to dry out ahead of warmer weather next week and more storm chances.
Definitely looking forward to this weekend. We definitely need it. And what do you have for this evening?
Well, lots coming up at 5. It's estimated that 2,000 young people under the age of 20 die from sudden cardiac arrest every year. We're going to meet a teen who's spearheading a life-saving effort to have young people get their hearts checked. Plus, more on the city of Joplin's response to the storm damage and their cleanup efforts. And we're going to visit with the other areas across the 4 states that have been impacted by last night's storm. So hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dow. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.